Good afternoon to all our colleagues, and thank you for joining in today's meeting in memory of our beloved money. Before we commence, I would like to inform all of you that part of the members that you see on the screen and our leaders will all be able to communicate with you. The rest of all our colleagues will be only on a participation mode. Hence, you will only be able to listen to this meeting, and also do note that this meeting has been recorded. Please join all our leadership team in celebrating Money's life. With that, I would hand over to Mr. Vikas Srivastav, our Managing Director, to open the meeting. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all our colleagues. It's a day that we never wish to see. It's a day we never thought we will see. But we are here a little more than 48 hours after Mani has left for his heavenly abode. Mani is a beloved leader, an incredibly beautiful human being, and a very pure soul that has touched our lives in ways we just cannot even put into words. So this afternoon, we joined together as all of the Johnson & Johnson consumer health team with many leaders who have worked with Mani before today, and also many of his team members, many of his colleagues around the world are joining us all to pay tribute and pay our respects and pray for his soul to be in peace and for his family to get the strength and the courage to move on with their lives in a way that is a loss that is so irreparable. We don't know how that will happen, but we still pray to the Almighty to bless his family, his loved ones, his friends, and all of those who will always keep Mani close to their hearts. So we, as Preeti told you, there is an outpouring of emotion. We are all shattered and devastated in our own ways. Even if you had worked with Mani for 25 years, like I had a good fortune of knowing him, or you knew him only for a few months, he left an indelible impact on our lives. So today is a time for us to grieve, but also to celebrate his life. And we have put together a small team of people who will be able to speak. It's a very large group. We completely understand that many of you may wish to speak, but thank you for your understanding and consideration, as we have chosen a set of people who have worked with Mani very, very closely and who will share their experiences to celebrate his memory. Should you wish to express yourself, as Preeti said, you can write to any one of us on the private chat, and you can express, and you can always express to each other, and and celebrate his life and his times. So what we will do is, I'm going to turn it over to the head of customer development and professional, vice president customer development professional, Mr. Manish Anandani, who, apart from being a skip level supervisor for Mani, was also someone who knew him for a long time and could also call him as a dear friend. So Manish will run the afternoon, and I just ask you to please be on mute and just take the moment in this afternoon to try and not do anything else, but just keep a place in your heart for Mani. Pray for him. Manish, over to you.
Thanks. Thanks, Vikas. And thank you everyone for joining this afternoon. Uh, can you guys put yourself on mute, please? Thank you so much. Uh, uh, First of all, as Vikas was saying, this is really, really hard for each one of us. I don't think so anyone of us had imagined that we will have to meet for this occasion. But as we all know, that the God also calls people who are very dear to him. And that's the reason Mani had to leave so early. Mani has been an unbelievably great human being. He was passionate, visionary, friendly, and with relationship with many. That's why he was not just a JnJ team member, but he was a friend to many, mentor to many, advisor to many, right? And he played multifaceted role in his life when he touched lives of many of us on the call and beyond. And he was such a nice human being that who never shied away from helping anyone, right? Whether it's a salesman to anybody else in the organization. And that ability of Mani really made him loved by everybody and any one of us. He always had that beautiful smile on his face, right? He would never show his emotion, and that's how Mani was known to each one of us, right? He was mostly and always happy. His team loved him. And the best thing I know about Mani is I've interacted with him many a times. I have never seen Mani talking anything but positive about his team, right? Whenever things would not work in his business, he would always say, I will do this better next time. But whenever something was doing well, he was always say, oh, my team is fantastic. I actually did it. And that's how Mani was always. Uh, and he was so happy and proud of his team when we spoke last, which was a day prior his departure from this world. He was so proud of the achievement the team has made, and he was extremely happy. Um, I can't believe what his family would be going through at this time. It would be extremely tough for his family, his father, his mother, his wife, and two kids, right? I just wish that God gives them strength to manage this tough time. And I wish his soul rest in peace uh, for Mani. Um, with this, I would just ask my colleague to play a small video which a team has put together to remember his some moments which he has spent with many of us. If you could play the video, please.
This makes a lot of sense to me, and I am completely aligned and sold by this idea, and I am ready to support. My team is ready to support. So let us not have any doubt in our mind. Go all out and then do it. Both teams are equally responsible to deliver this.
Thank you, Kailash. I mean, this was such a touching and a beautiful video. Some of you may know Mani, that Mani was fond of playing flute. The music which you hear in the background in this entire video is actually played by him when he actually did it sometime recently. The last shot where you saw him playing the flute, that's the whole music in the background. Mani, we are going to miss you tremendously. I don't think so there will be any way we will be able to fill your vacant spot. With this, I would just move to invite Manish Sharma to speak few words.
Afternoon, everyone. In my 16 years of working career, the day before yesterday was the toughest day in my life. While I knew Mani for over a year and we come across so many people, but there are very few who really stand out. And Mani was for me the standout. He was an ideal employee and beloved manager. He was a diverse mentor of so many, coach, friend. So many people called him either the younger or the elder brother. For me, in one line, he was actually a living JnJ credo. That's what, he was. I used to speak to him almost daily, sometimes even on weekends. And, I was new in the organization last year. He was my go-to person because he knew the business in and out and also the people. One thing I really did not understand is that he spoke to so many people, but somehow he was never in a hurry. He always was so sorted, a balance between having the right vision, preparedness for the short term, and also taking the entire team along, which was a big asset that he had. Only last week, both of us spoke that health is a big priority and we need to step that up given the external scenario. And this Monday, we actually had a cluster meet where we put together the #1 priority for the Q4, which was physical and mental well-being, right? And he in fact spoke and said that, it is very important to put that as a priority in urgency because you really don't know what can happen in future, right? And I'm so happy for him in one sense that, he was chasing a 100 crore dream that he was able to bring to life. And he messaged me at about 5:30 on Friday saying that Manish, the dream has actually come true. And I was, he said that I wanted you to know the first before I share the news with the others. And he then made it a point to make sure that, everybody celebrates it to, not just his team, but extending it to the entire multifunctional team so that all of them celebrate the journey, that he's been trying to live for the last, many months, which had then come to the forefront, right? I can't really imagine this has happened to him, but unfortunately, this is the reality now, right? So while I know all of us are trying to digest, my heart first reaches out to his family because he was the lone earning member in the family and he was the bread and butter. So may God give all of them the strength to be able to come out of this. And I would also request all of you on this occasion to make sure that you make health your priority with urgency, right? Finally, I would just say that, may his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thanks, Manish. I'll now call for the team members from the South Branch to say a few words and remember Mani, starting with Ravi Malkade, if you're there, please.
It's a very sad time. I never thought there would be one day where I would be talking about him in these circumstances. It's a big loss to me and big loss to all of us and big loss to the organization. To be very frank, I lost my good friend, my guide in everything. He was with me throughout. He was guiding me as a friend, colleague, and in all my personal things and including my financial thing, he used to always guide me. Wonderful human being. Though just want to say that when I started my career as a his team member, we never got along because we had different. We both are very strong of our own this one. His thinking was different, my thinking was different. But when I saw him doing things differently, I started learning from that. When I started admiring him, like, in the last 4 years, we have become so close, like, we have become like our brothers. Not a single day has passed where we haven't spoken not less than an hour. Every time, anything, even if he's upset, he calls me, Amma, Enama, Purilama, Ena Panno. I don't know what to do. This is what like this. When I have a problem, I call him like, no, Anna, what do I do? What am I supposed to do this? And he's a fantastic human being. And I'll tell you, he's a selfless man. He's always open to help people. Whenever anybody, I think most of us will agree, when you go with a problem, he's there to help you. You can reach out to him anytime. And he has a different and unique way of helping people. He would never say, okay, go and do this. He would give you 2-3 options and he will tell you, choose the best depending upon your situation, your circumstance. Such a wonderful person. And if I think of Mani, I will recollect few good qualities what he had carried on for a long time. First of all, he's very humble. You believe it or not, after achieving 100 crores, when I called him, I told him, Mani, you've done it 100 crores. He said, no, Ma, it's not me. It's my team. And I also give credit to you because there was Sandro, one more pro was supposed to come to me. Praveen had called me, hey Ravi, looks like no, Orsel is going a little slow. They might fall short for a crore or something. Will you able to give that 1 crore? I told no, for money, sir, I don't mind. Please send that 1 crore. I'm okay with it. So he told me, I told to my team that there is a part Ravi Malkar has my 100 crores. He sent me 1 crore of Sandro to me. So that kind of humbleness, I've not seen in any person's, I have not seen in anyone's, this one. And he has called each and every person, including CFA person and the finance team, and thanked them. When they said, it is my duty I have rendered, he said, I know, I understand your duty is from 10 to 6, but your work till 11:30, that you are releasing the orders till 11:30. So thank you very much. Such a wonderful and humble person. And again, very simple. Even though we used to stay in a good hotels or wherever it is, he's very fond of small, simple happiness. He wants to have a good sambar rice. Even though he's staying in a 3-star or 5-star or wherever he's staying, he would never want to eat there. He always wants to go out and see simple and sit down 4 or 5 people, have a good time and enjoy. So such a simple person. And he had a complete unique approach to everything, be it be anything, professional or personal. I always used to wonder what is he thinking, what is he saying if he's saying something. And I used to call him and ask no, boss, why did you say this way? He said, Ravi, this will lead to a different process. This will lead to some improvement. So we should make people other to think that next what they need to think. It's just not about you're answering back something, but also that also should you contribute so people start thinking. So it's a fantastic approach to every aspect of life. Apart from this, the leadership. I've seen Mani for last 17 years. In the last 4 to 5 years, he has really evolved as a leader, a great leader, a true leader. In his team, he had 4 brats, Sanjay Nair, Gyanendra Singh, myself, and Abhijit Gorkare. He used to say let's start the meeting 10 o'clock. We said, boss, 10:30. He knows very well we would not reach by 10:30. He used to come in the car to pick us up all to to the office to take us to the branch. And there, the moment we go, we were not easy team to handle for him. If you say something it is not, we'll accept whatever it is. We will have a counters. So beautifully with a smile, he used to take it. He knows very well how much of freedom to be given to which person. And he will make us fly, but all the strings are in his hand. He knows when to pull us, when to put us down. It's a beautiful. I have learned this from him, and I thank him wholeheartedly what he has done for me. Looking at this picture, even now I cannot believe that he's not there. Every day morning or something, I always call him, or in the evening. No, I don't know who to call. I always connected with him. It's a very sad thing for all of us. And I also if I think of his parents and family, much more painful. I don't know how, but I just pray to God, like, that give them his family, like, a great strength to bear this loss. But we remember you, Mani. Thank you for everything, and thank you for being a good and wonderful person in my life. Thank you very much.
Thank, thanks, Ravi. Thanks. Can we have Manisha next, please?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Uh, my name is Manisha. I am ASM for Bangalore Metro. I have been working for Mani sir for the last 1.5 years. And but I've known him for even more than that time. I've known him for more than 2.5 years. Uh, my day starts with calling sir, and with a good morning, sir. And I used to go to him with all the problems, with all the plans, with all the thoughts and all the doubts. And he always used to tell me one thing, don't worry, just go ahead and do it. We will see what happens. So he said, never doubt yourself. You can definitely do it. So he believed in me and he made me believe in myself. Uh, the power of conviction actually came to life with sir. It's hard for me to think that I will call sir now and uh, he will not pick up, because I'll always think that sir will call me back. That's what sir did always. And it's very, very hard. It's very hard for us. Uh, as a boss, he was a fair and reasonable boss. It is very, very difficult, if especially in sales, for every team member of him to feel that a boss is being reasonable. Uh, that is because he it is because he made us feel that way. All of us loved him, all of everybody, from the RDSSM level to the ABIs to the distributors. He had the power to touch everyone's life. So when I came to South Central 1.5 years back, I saw something very, very powerful. What I saw was, if Mani sir said that this has to happen, people would take it upon themselves to achieve it. If Mani sir said that this is the vision he has in mind, everybody would go for it without even a single thought. The entire team would come together to make the dream alive. And that I saw for the first time, the power of leadership. And I wondered, how did it happen? How would people, everybody, uh, you know uh, rally around for a person's vision or a person's dream? That is because of one reason: because everybody he met personally, he was able to make a difference. And that's what people were thinking, and that's how he made everybody feel. And we all really loved Mani sir because of his positive attitude. He was able to understand everything but still not react in a way that would be hurtful to others. He would react in a way that would bring out the best feeling in people. So he respected everybody, and be it admin staff, be it all the support staff, CFA people. And that's why today everybody is able to feel the loss. And even my family is upset, and my family is feeling the pain, because they knew what kind of a support Mani sir was when I was going through a personal problem in my life, or when my parents' health was, my dad's health was not good a couple of days back. So that's how my family is also getting the pinch of that the loss. So that was Mani sir. And if I have to say one thing about sir, he stood behind us and he asked us to be fearless. He asked us to be courageous. But at the same time, he was in front of us. He was shielding us and protecting us from whatever could come from top. Because of that, we never felt that there was any pressure or anything. We were just doing our job. We were just going out there and doing what we were supposed to do. And all this happened with lot of fun. for me, the best memories would be, all those music sessions, all those sessions where sir would make all of us sing, me, Arushi, Weber, everybody. He used to play flute. He just loved all of those jamming sessions. And whenever we used to play this mafia game, and sir always used to be the god in that game. And and I don't know, today I just don't know, like, sir, you know wherever sir is, sir, we really really miss you. We miss you to a great extent. Please bless us from wherever you are. And I really want to pray to God so that he gives that strength to his family, to his parents, to his wife, to his children. He was a great human being. Please give them the strength to go through this. Few people have been lucky to have good boss, but I am one of the very, very few who was truly, truly blessed to have a boss who was a great human being. Thank you, sir. We'll always miss you.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you very much. Next, I will call another member from Mani's team, who is the FLM of Telangana, Vaibhav. Vaibhav, can I just request you to speak few things?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. I am Vaibhav, and I joined Mani sir's team 2 years back as FLM Telangana. Mani sir, Mani boss, as he was lovingly known as, he was an extraordinary person who had touched all our lives, not only professionally, but at a deeper level, at emotional level. Whenever we think about him, his smiling face and positive energy is the one that comes to our mind. As everybody told, his jovial and affable nature made him a figure to whom everybody looked up to. He was always ready to guide and help people, even if it means that he has to help them at the odd hours. He was an inspiring leader and an eternal optimist who always saw best in people. He helped them to become better version of themselves by making them believe in themselves and positively energizing them. In all our meetings, he always told people to positively energize the team and allow them to work and drive them positively, and don't worry about the result. I always remember a shlok in Gita which says that karmanne vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachan, which means that you do your job and leave the result to the God. And that is what he was all about. He always used to tell all of us that you do your job, put in your best effort, and leave the result to the God. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen, and we will deal with it. Even in the month of September, when we were planning to do 100 crore, he shared his dream with us and told us, don't worry about the number 100. You guys just go and put in your best efforts. I am sure that if you guys will put in your best effort, this dream we will be able to achieve. One of the things he always used to tell us, especially when this 100 crore happened, he told me that, Vaibhav, let's be humble in our successes, because there are tough times also and there are good times also. So this time is a success for us, and let's be humble in it, and let's be resilient in our failures. On 5th of September, on Teachers' Day, I wished him and I told him that, sir, I have learned a lot from you, both professionally and personally. And he was so humble and so down to earth that he wished me back and thanked me and told me that even I have learned a lot from you. And I have been a student for life. I have learned from everyone, both seniors and juniors. And I will advise you, you also do the same. He was a mentor and a great friend. I will miss our discussions with him on leadership, philosophy of life and death, and faith in God. In my last conversation with him, he told me that nothing is more important than health and happiness of the family. Though he is not with me anymore and with us anymore, his fond memories are there in our heart and the values he lived by in our mind. I will remember him for his smiling face, jovial nature, and inspiring leadership. And I will try to live by his values, to be always positive and optimistic, to see the best in people, to be humble in success and resilient in failure, and always be student for life. Lastly, I just wish that may his soul rest in peace and become one with the Almighty, and his family and friends find the strength to bear this loss. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav. We feel the same pain as you do. Uh, on next, I would just like to call another team member from South team, KVK, who has worked with Mani for a long time, who's right now in as a FLM for Karnataka. KVK, can you please speak a few words? Did we lose him? I think he probably is having a connection issue. He'll come back in some time. By the time he comes back, can I request Prashant, who is an ABI in Mangalore, to say a few words?
Sir, I'm back, sir. Can I go ahead?
Oh, sure, KVK. You go ahead first.
Sir, good evening all. My name is KVK Raju. I work in Karnataka country as a film since January. So I have a relationship with Mani since 2000. I have worked first market work in Salem when he was a ABI, and he was the person who whole entire team in Tamil Nadu, and he was with me 1.5 years. Then he moved to sales RDSSM training. From there, he moved to Mumbai. Whenever he comes to South, whenever he got promoted, first call he used to make me, hey, Yenapa, Epripa, how is, even though I am not reporting, that much of relationship I have. Whenever we go to the journal meetings, he is so humble and so great personality. And yesterday I was witnessed his final rituals at Chennai. I cannot able to console when I see his mother and father. I know his family personally, and he took me his father and mother's house when there is no room. He told me I was there in Tirunelveli. From there, Trichy, when I come to the meeting, he said, "You come down to my house." We refreshed, and both of us in a single bike, we traveled to the meeting. And he was the person instrumental in keeping and shaping in Tamil Nadu in the tough times in 2000 and 2001. And he was faced a big challenge in Coimbatore. And there was one management trainee, Genova driver, when she was posted in Coimbatore. That time he was the person, he was there in Trichy, then he used to shuttle, and there was a threats from customers in very tough times, very challenging time. So he used to share even Mumbai, his son Krishna, elder son Krishna, where he joined and schooling, and he used to guide me. Even for my children, he used to tell, "Why don't you put in central school and all?" So when I meet his wife and mother, which I had a food in his house in earlier 2000, I can't see that their regret and the sorrow is unstoppable. And I'm directly reporting from this January. And before that, even Andhra, whenever he comes, whenever whatever the scheme, or even I'm not reporting directly to him, he used to call, "Hey, Kana, even when I come to the FLM, this thing." So he was told one thing: don't get tensed, do not worry anything. Do whatever the Vaibhav said, do your karma, rest will follow. I know you have capability, you can do it. The transition was very smooth. He was guided me. He is a colleague. I always call him as a sir. So the due respects to him, and he was so humble, and he never ordered. He never raise his voice, and even from salesman to even the managing director, which he keep the relationships, is outstanding, and nobody else can do this type of human nature. I'm sorry, he will be rest in peace, and he will be taught, and he will be guiding us from the heaven. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, KVK. Thank you for your words. Now, can we move to Prashant, who is the ABI from Mangalore? Prashant, if you can. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon to all. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Mani for all the 23 years, ever since he joined as a ABI. We were colleagues, we as a ABI, he was my colleague, and we used to have such a rapport with each other, and we used to, there are a lot of competitiveness, within us on those days, and kind of, he was always so, innovative, for everything, even the smallest thing in terms of, how to do a next level communication and how to simplify the things, in terms of execution. Then a lot of things, he used to share with me, and for me, more than a boss, he is my friend, and we had a even he's like a family friend for me. We had a lot of interaction. No, later on when he handed over to me, as he was doing the marketing role in HO. So I was there in Bombay. I used to go to his house, and there's a lot of family bonding.
Prashant, can you just keep the speaker phone little closer, not too close, but closer to your mouth, because we can sometime hear and sometime not.
Okay. So later on, when I went to marketing role, which he was doing, so he was, guiding me throughout, saying that what needs to be done, and so even little things, he was very taking care of, with me, and used to very candidly sharing his, passion and what he wants to do for next 5 years, and what is his, what he wants to be for next 5 years or whatever. So his career plans. I think that was it was, such a rapport he was building, throughout his. Even he was very passionate for music, and whenever I used to learn something new, he was there with Krishna Janmashtami. He had this, Krishna ni Begane Baro, that Carnatic song, rendering. He shared with me and said, "Ask me, how is it, and what is the feedback." So that kind of, friend he was for me. I think even my family, my wife felt so miserable after hearing all this.
Prashant, there's something wrong with your connection. Unfortunately, we cannot hear you. I would come back to you in a bit. It's very difficult to hear you. I think it's going off and on, right? Can we just request Imtiaz, who is the ABI from Hyderabad, who's worked with Mani for a long time. Mani, Imtiaz, over to you.
Good afternoon, boss and team. It is very sad to say that, and it is very difficult, boss. Still, we are not accepting, and our heart also is not accepting the incident was happened. It is difficult to believe that a Johnson and Johnson had lost a great diamond, boss, like a Kohinoor. He was a great leader, boss. He was a great motivator, boss, and he was a great mentor, boss. He always think about the team health, boss, and he was always tell to the team to the be commercial for the incentive. He motivate the team for the incentive and talk about the health, boss. He helps to the new learners for the new concept, boss. Whenever we will learn problem, boss, he will personally call and help us. And really, we lost such a great person, boss. He is a very unforgettable person, boss. He always talk about the team development, boss. New creativeness talk about that. whenever the new person or the old person in call now, immediately he will respond boss, and he will give the guidance. He will not, if the any person done the mistake also now, boss. He always keep aside the mistake and he will talk about the what is the way can correct it. He talk about on that. And in the last 2 years back in Hyderabad, in Telangana, there was a FLM vacant was. So for directly money was handled 3 4 months as a RSM. He rolled as a FLM also. He in my territory one distributor was left boss. He directly whenever he come to the Hyderabad from airport, he called Imtiaz, where are you? Sir, I'm here. Chalo, we will start searching the distributor. He work as with me as a ABI, but he is a very down to earth. Then we will start with the tea and we will go before lunch, after lunch, three distributor. Then we will go to the hotel boss. And after 15 years, he told me was in that day 2000 ending December 18. After a sales officer, I never have sit in the RDSM meeting in distributor points in Tias. I have sitting with you in Dilip Enterprise with the RDSM. He is a very friendly boss. It is he will not give any feeling that I am a RSM, I am ASM. He work with equal as a API boss. In the month end boss on 19th September, I called to boss. Boss, there was a high in Hyderabad South. There is a rain is falling, boss. My number is dropping. So kindly please help me in other Sam Pro. Boss also it tried, but then the stock was production issue was there because in red zone 33% only the manpower has to use in the factory now. Then I called to the money boss directly. 19th September, boss, this is Imtiaz. And just tell me what happened. Boss, I need in trouble, boss. I need Sampro, boss, because in Hyderabad rain is falling every day, boss. So how much truck you want? He suddenly gave me a sudden the good news. Then I said 2 truck, boss. Hey, Imtiaz, I will kill you. He said like that. No, boss, please help me. Then he said 23rd September, he arranged one vehicle from the Gujarat, boss. Then I lastly I request please one more vehicle bus. In 25th September, he arranged one more vehicles from the Chennai bus. But unfortunately, the first vehicle of 23rd September invoicing came on Monday only, boss, when boss was passed away. Boss. So whenever we have not think that he is a great leader, boss. He's a great doctor, boss. He will always think about the health. And last year he started the walking process, boss. Every day, every ABI in every RSR, everybody needs to send the evening walking reports, boss, in the group. So boss was a dream also they done, boss, in one night. But only the one thing they in last message, boss, in Monday, we got all the cake, boss. Unfortunately, 2 3 ABIs was finished the cake. Then I replied to my boss in group, boss, 100 crores cake is finished, boss, but 100 crores retailing cake is pending, boss. Kindly send. I said the cake ceremony was missed, boss. Everything is achieved, boss. Kindly, I request to all you to that we will celebrate boss dream, boss, cake cutting ceremony. And really, we miss a great leader, a great big brother, a big Anna, big mentor, a doctor, and a big diamond to the Johnson, boss. Thank you, boss. And may God and Allah peace be in rest in the peace.
Thank you, Imtiaz. And you're absolutely right. The team should celebrate the cake to make sure Money does wherever he is and he's watching us. And he would be very happy that the team is cutting the cake of 100 crore, which he planned to deliver to every ABI in the entire team. With this, I would call Santosh, who is the RBM for South Region for Orsil team. Can I request Santosh to say a few words, please?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
For me, the shock is yet to get over. I still remember the call which I got in the morning that Mani was slightly serious, and if I can come down and meet him. Uh, I was on the way to meet him, and unfortunately, before I could reach the place, I think Mani had multiple attack and he passed away. Have seen Mani very close, and literally to see Mani dying on my own hands, near very close to me. I think that the very reason I couldn't even accept it. Uh, my association with Mani started in 2011 when when he was working for a beauty franchise under Manoj Gadgil sir. There was a lot of coordination used to happen between me and Mani, especially on the skin analyzer machine. That's when it all started. It's almost 10 years now. The relationship got very intense in last 6-7 years when he came down to the South brand. We literally sit very close to each other, opposite to each other, and I mean we have conversations almost every day. On the official front, I think always the interaction with the Mani had been a very pleasant one. Even if there were different point of views, I think he always knew that there is an affection and bonding which is always there beneath, and both of us knew it pretty well. Over years of association with Mani, especially on the official front, I have learned a lot from Mani, be it on leadership, having a clear vision for future, building teams. He has built a lot of teams, and most and I would say one thing which is very important is being humble, simple, and grounded when one is successful. I think that's one of the qualities I have seen it in Mani in the official. He was just not a colleague. We shared a very good personal relationship as well. I knew his family pretty well, and so as Mani about my family. Me, Mani, Badri used to travel for a lot of pilgrimage trips, and each of those occasions were very unique and memorable. Even the night before he passed away, we had a chat. He called me and he was discussing about the quarter 4 plan and how much I could do in that quarter 4. And he was saying that once this year gets completed and the pandemic is over, I think every December we do a pilgrimage trip. He said we should do it in this year as well. I said everything should be fine and we should do it. On his personal life, I think he was a great companion to hang out with. One of the important reason is I think he likes as a person. He likes everyone as the way you are. I mean, he adjusts with everyone. He was very spiritual. He gives a lot of insights on life through various examples. Uh, I mean, apart from that, he was a multi-talented person. He plays flute, ghatam. He's very fond of classic. He picks up the ragas by hearing the music. Many times he used to compose the tunes in the flute, and he loves attending the music festival in Chennai. Mani was very close to his family. I think the last 2 days has been very painful, especially for me, to see his family suffer without him. One thing I would thank God is like I was there during his last moments. And he got cremated, and he was in ash. Uh, every time he used to joke. When me, Mani, Badri, and Desikan, when we go for food, normally I'll tell him that there are outlets which are very famous for food, and typically Badri and Mani used to pull me saying that. When till the time you are there, we won't starve for food. Yesterday during the cremation, I fed him the last final time with rice. So I remember that. I mean, I would say I would thank God that for that I was there till this last moment. For me, it's like a personal loss. He was more of a elder brother to me. I pray to the God to give his family strength to all the near and dear to overcome this irreparable loss. I will always cherish all the memories which I shared with him together, and I can assure I'll be in close touch with his family, whatever support I can offer to them. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Santosh. Uh, can we just now move to the next one? Please, 1 second. Yes. Prabhakar, ready?
Yes, boss.
ZBM Telangana, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, all. So I am Prabhakar Reddy, working in Telangana. and ORSL team. So still I feel I'm very unfortunate. I'm unfortunate. I was working, I may not be working with his own team. I was not reporting directly, but he was like my direct boss. Always I used to call him. My association has begun with Money Boss 5 years back, 2015, when I joined with JnJ. From day one, he was like a mentor for me. He was guiding me. If I'm not reporting directly to him, also he was guiding me in all aspects. Initially, he was there in the coordination team, professional team, and ourselves professional team and the sales team. So he used to tell us, when you have any problem, issues, go with a solution. Come with a solution. So solution, you have to find out 1, 2 solutions and go to the team. Definitely they will pick up one solution and they will guide you. That I am able to pick up from Money Boss, sir. So not only that, post that when he has become an RSM, he has given lot of space for me to understand the business, learn so many things of the distribution and sales perspective, especially in Johnson and Johnson. So he has given lot of space, and is not only in professional way, but we used to have lot of affectionate, close association with him. So whenever he used to come to Tirupati, so definitely he used to call me. No, he used to take me to Tirumala Darshan, and we are not. No, we are missing you, boss. And last discussion is happened in last week. Last year, 4th September, we have been to Tirumala. So he told that no, we have achieved 100 crores, Redigar. Then I told boss, definitely we will start field work in post lockdown. When we start field work, definitely we will go to Tirumala. We will take Balaji Darshan and we will continue delivering the same in coming years to boss. He is 100% agreed, boss. Now he is no more. Tirumala Darshan is pending, boss. I was dreaming definitely boss will come. We will go together to Tirumala. We miss you, boss. So only thing, I will live with your values and suggestions, boss. Wherever you are there, definitely you bless me in my personal and professional career, boss. So great loss personally for me as well as organization also, boss. I will pray God to give the courage to come out his family from these tough times. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. We will miss you, boss. Miss you, boss.
Thank you, Prabhakar. Thanks, South team, for speaking about your experience with money. Now we will just move to the next group of other people who have worked very closely with money cross-functionally. Can I request Malini, who is part of finance team, to say a few words?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's said that death ends a life and not a relationship. I guess this is true for almost every one of us who has interacted with money. A very simple person at heart, down to earth, very friendly, and one who engaged well with everyone, no matter what his or her position is in the company. You know, several of us today will be able to relate to the warmth and genuinity around multiple conversations, anecdotes that we would have had with money. To me personally, it is a great loss. Money and me, we joined JnJ pretty much at the same time, 23 to 24 years ago in Chennai, in the consumer sector. And we have traveled this journey in JnJ together till now. And I've not seen him change since the days he was an ABI to the days when he has now become a sales manager. He just continues to be the simple person that he always was. He's one RSM who calls my team members every month end and makes it a point to thank them for their support, including the last Friday midnight call. The last September Friday midnight, he called all my team members and thanked them individually. While we have always said that we are just doing our jobs and he need not thank us for this, His revert would be, yes, you're doing your job properly, and that is why I need to thank you for that. Because if you did not do your job, it would impact several of us in the commercial team. That's the kind of magnanimity that he had. He would always acknowledge and escalate when good work is done, whoever it is, within his team or any of the support teams like us. To me, he's been a great friend and a well-wisher. We shared a bonding which helped us discuss our success and failures in multiple occasions. His untimely departure is nothing but cruel and just goes to show how uncertain life can be. Because even after being admitted in the hospital, he has been speaking to a couple of our colleagues and even then reassuring them that he was fine. And that is Mani, would always be reassuring to everyone. When I saw him last, before his last rites, he just looked the same, the way he would have had he been in office. He looked like he was just sleeping. It's still very hard to believe that he is no more. The sands of time cannot be stopped. Years pass. But what we can do is we can remember, and what has been lost may yet live in memories. My prayers to the Almighty to give his family the strength to bear this profound grief and to accept this irreversible loss. May his soul attain moksha. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Malini. Can I just now request Sanjay Nair, who is the RSM for East, who's worked with Mani for a long time, to say a few words. Sanjay.
Good afternoon, all. Anna, as I would fondly call him, and he would call me Naire. We had a chat the last Monday before he passed away. And if I wouldn't speak to him for at least 3 hours every week, I wouldn't feel nice. He was somebody who never judged you. I had the good fortune of working for him in Telangana, and he shaped me and helped me get to where I am today. I made numerous mistakes as a leader, but his magnanimity in the way he corrected me and the way he explained it to me, he would beautifully put it in a situation saying, Nair, if the going is good, you are better than me. But in such a situation, this is where you might likely to make a mistake. The way he would tell that and the lessons that I have learned in simply my chats with him has been simply mind-blowing. Today where I am as an RSM is all because of he shaping me and helping me get here. Simple example I want to give. I had the good fortune of going to his house. And yes, he was very fond of health, etc. With my size and weight, his wife put down a banana leaf for me to sit down. He looked at his wife, and his typical one-liner, he said, do you think Nair will be able to squat on the floor and have food? And that was like a subtle remark, Nair, it's time you got fit and you improved your health. And she would also, as Kamath would always call him as money boss, at home also she would address him as boss. And there was such beautiful banter in the family that I miss those days. When his son turned 18 and requested dad that he wanted a bike, Mani called me saying, Naire, he's asking me to buy a bike. What should I do? I said, Anna, the time is right. He's traveling so much. You need to buy him one. I thought he would buy him an Active or something. Mani ended up buying his son a Bullet. But Mani being Mani and he being a part of the safety defensive driving took the son to an entire day of defensive driving, taught him all the nuances of how to handle the bike. And such was the perfection. The guy got the bike, Krishna got the bike only when he mastered it and he learned to drive it well. That was Mani. So simple. Some simple selling stories come to mind. I newly joined Telangana and he would have this Monday morning call. He would say 10 bills and 10K stay free. Such was the simplicity of the thought, and we would keep texting the whole day ki salesman so and so made 15 bills and sold so many cases of stay free. That was his way of driving the business in the team. Over his stint as an RSM, the one big lesson which he taught me, Naire, stay humble. There are success and failures. My 2014-15 stint was not as good as what it is now. In my 14-15, the person was the same. I learned a lot of lessons. Be humble, be grounded, and always remember to back your people. These invaluable lessons will remain with me till I die. Anna was more than a brother, a family, somebody who I'm really going to miss. And for the organization also, I think it's an irrecoverable loss. I wish his family all the strength. May his soul attain moksha. Thank you very much, Anna, for all your contributions.
Thank you, Sanjay. Now, can I request Sagar Chaudhary, who is also worked with Mani for a very long period of time, to say a few words?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have known Mani since 1996. Mani was one of a kind as a leader and as a good human being. And like many of us here who go a long way back in this company, the journey of his life was his journey in JnJ. Inseparable, he was like family to me. In the years that I have been associated with him, I have met him in different places, in varied roles, and in increasing responsibilities that he handled. But each time that I met him, I saw that he had added more value to himself and to those around him. In a way, that was to be, because in whatever he did, he worked with his heart and a smile. Looking back, you keep remembering the things that he did, which will remain in our hearts for a long time. And as it happens, and as people said, in a journey, he had his highs and also the less. But I have seen him in each. He never failed to either celebrate or reach out to better himself. You know, whether it was 4 years back in 1996 when I met him or in the present times, I doubt whether any of us ever came across Mani being angry. It was his humility that made him truly a great leader. And since yesterday, when people who have left the company long back from Assam to Kerala call up to express their shock and grief for him, you know the kind of impact he had on people. Mani, you are gone too soon, leaving us with your memories. But know this, that you have set the bar very high with what you achieved. Standards which will continue to inspire people around us and generations yet to come. And I do believe you are listening to us from amongst the stars today. And I say that you are not just good, you are great. For me, it was an honor and privilege knowing and working with you. And we will keep celebrating you amongst us long after our tears have dried up. You have gone to the place where it all began, in front of the Lord. And when you play your flute, don't worry, it will be good enough as always. Rest in peace.
Thank you so much, Sagar. And I couldn't agree with you more that his impact is way beyond, and the people who have ever worked with him in past also reaching out to express their uh, prayers. And I have received many messages from the ex-employees talking about Mani. And such a great leader he was. With this, I would just invite Tanvi, who is the franchise head for self-care, to say a few words.
It's really numbing to really experience the sudden pain that you feel when you think of Mani. Although I've actually worked with Mani since many years now, almost like 10 years. I think we really bonded when we worked together on the Orsil integration. We got a chance to work very closely during that time. What really stands out as I think back is that he was extremely passionate, very approachable, and always brought a never say no attitude to everything that he kind of put his hands on. He played a very important role in the Orsil integration, and I think a lot of success that we see today of Orsil is a lot of it goes to Mani's credit. I think more more than the business results, I think one of the key difference that he made to the role that he was playing in the Orcel integration is really being there for the detailing team. He helped them settle down in the JnJ world. He kept reaching out to them, supporting them, asking them what they need, and coming back and finding answers for them. Uh, he ended up also mentoring a lot of them, as Prabhakar was talking about it. To me, this really showed Mani's leadership and passion towards Orcel. And Orcel has always been very, very close to his heart. Um, I was just flipping through some of the messages he's written me, and when we were having a tough quarter 2, he actually would send me snapshots of how the weather is doing in Telangana, to kind of monitor, saying we will make it. There was in fact, very recently he reached out to me to say, can we provide Orcel to the RDSSMs who are actually going on field? It was a very small ask, but I think it really brought out how thoughtful he was about the team that really worked. And I think that kind of really is something that I remembered when as I was really thinking about my recent conversations with Mani. In fact, in the last message that he sent me, he has said, we will break all the records this month. And while he stayed true to his words, I know the irony of that is not kind of lost on us. Um, I think I'll just end with saying, Mani, we'll really miss you. May you rest in peace, and prayers for his family and friends to really find the strength to bear this loss.
Thank you, Tanvi. We move ahead with Dinar, who is the part of Orcel team, who has worked with Mani for a long time. Can I request Dinar to say a few words, please?
Thanks, Manish. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thanks. For me, the reality is yet to sink in, and it's for the last 60 minutes or so. I've been looking at his picture that has been put up on the screen, and if you really look at it, sometimes people say that you want to see what you want to see out there, or you see what you want to see. And if you just look at it, his smile, his eyes are actually live. I think probably it's a checkered shirt, but if you look at it, it does look that he's moving and he can come out any point of time. And that's why I feel that reality is really, really yet to sink in. Very, very difficult. The last we spoke was on Sunday, where after his 100 crores, he had called me up in the evening, and I thought he was going to talk about the business or the 100 crores. But I think his focus was very clear. He was worried about his team member, one of his team members who had contracted, who was COVID positive, and he was looking for support out there. And that's his humility or his greatness, that he did not talk about the 100 crores, but he talked about his people and he wanted help for that. And then again on Monday, we saw him celebrating the 100 crores and talking about excitedly what were the plans and the other things. My association with money came in right from day one when I joined 9.5 years back in Fawcett Street, and I've seen him various roles. And one thing which is common across all the roles that what I've seen him in money is his smile and his humility. And in 2014-15, when we were looking out for a person who would be leading the integration in terms of uh, the thing that we had talked across for Orcel, one team, one dream, Shivana and Vikas were looking out for a person who knew on one hand CD on the back of their hands, but most a person who's humble, who's capable, and who's willing to work with an open mind and respects people and can work closely with them. And there was no better choice than Money when we got Money as the national integration lead. And the way he has worked with the team, I think when Santosh spoke, when Prabhakar spoke, and a lot of other people, he's been a friend, mentor, philosopher, and guide to a lot of people in the Orcel team. And today he is, I would say, he's among the founder members and a big architect for the Orcel success that we've seen in today. And I think that's something which is fantastic. Uh, one of the things that I've also remembered in Mani is that his people centricity and his wanting his people to do well. And I remember this example when we were discussing about Desikan moving from the CD team to the professional team in the capability part. He asked me only one question: that do you think one is Desikan capable, and second, does he have a future? And the moment he got convinced that yeah, there is a future and he can add tremendous value, he said, I'll let go of him. That was Mani. He always loved Desikan, he still loves Desikan, but I think the people part in terms of the career aspiration, he let him go. The other thing that Ravi talked across or Santosh talked across, I remember this scene when we were in Gurgaon for our annual meeting, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mani, Bijida, and the RBMs were, all of us were together, and we went out to this small joint because Mani did not want to eat in Hayat. And we went to a small dhaba which was just 100 meters away from the hotel. And the kind of fun that we had in terms of sharing the journey, the high parts, the low parts, was fantastic. He was seamlessly mixing around and being part of the team, and which is what something only great leaders and inspiring leaders can do it. The other part which I also remember is someone talked about him being spiritual. I know that because I think twice or thrice a year, Bhaskar, Santosh, Badri, and Mani used to go to Sabrimala. And that's a difficult journey. But every time he used to come back, either from the Sabrimala journey or from Tirupati in the first week of Jan, he used to call up Dinar. Tell me, what are we going to do on Orsel? What is the growth that I need to drive, for my region, and what can I do for the country? So I think Mani has been is phenomenal in terms of the way he has handled the pressure with a smile. And when I say in a smile, you can always understand that he's got a mischievous smile. And when he puts up that mischievous smile, need to stop and tell Mani, yes, Mani, come out with your one liner. And that's where he'll come across. I'm going to miss all those things. I really hope, really hope that he's watching us among this from the stars, and his soul rests in peace. And more so, God gives the family courage and strength to come out of this. Can be only one Mani which is there, and I think JnJ, all of us are going to miss him. So rest in peace, Mani. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dinar. Thank you very much. You spoke very beautifully of the memories of Mani. We also have our colleagues from region team who have been working with Mani in the past. So can I request Bangi or Ganesh Bangalore to say a few words, please?
Thank you, Manish. Just let me know if I'm not audible, otherwise I'll continue. Well, I've been fortunate to know Mani now for close to 20 years. And it is unbelievable to be in a remembrance session for him. It's while as human beings, you know that everyone comes with limited time, yet when it happens to people who are people like Mani, you just don't believe it. Someone very wise has said that people may forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And for me, Mani always made me feel and believe in the goodness that is in human beings. I think so many of you have spoken so many things about how he was as a person and how much joy and positivity that he brought into each and every connect that he made with people. It's just so difficult to try and pick out what you remember in those 20 years that I've known him for. But as I think about him, Mani for me has always been, a very positive solution finder, and it's that positive energy that's always guided him. I remember that when we were when we used to work in the CMG team together, and we had this launch of Fine Fairness Sachet, and Swami, who was our MD, usually had very bold ambitions for even small things. So he threw us a challenge of trying to launch the product in 300,000 outlets, while Clean and Clear was even the mother brand was much smaller number of outlets, and it was an impossible objective. And Mani used to handle CMG for beauty then, and I still remember when the challenge came and how he said it is tough, but the worst that can happen is that we will fail. The best that will happen is we'll set up a brand for the long term. And he truly understood. And it's not only that he thought big, but I think he knew what to do also. And we did end up delivering on an amazing launch only because he had that positivity of thinking big, but equally, the understanding and the wisdom of the organization to make it happen. And I think one of the things that, again, I think Sagar touched upon it. I've seen Mani in so many different roles in JnJ. I think, like someone mentioned, he started as an ABI, but he came to the head office, I think, sometime early 2000s. I don't remember exactly when. And while it's pretty normal now because of the connected world, at that time it was very unusual for somebody from the field team to come in as a product manager in marketing. He joined FemCare. He actually worked with Alka, my wife, on some of the FemCare programs. And similarly, he's handled multiple roles, multiple responsibilities, each requiring very different, skills to succeed. And for me, he was always so humble that he never was afraid to go out and ask even a management trainee for help if he thought that that would help him do his job better. And I think it is just unbelievable how much learning Mani accumulated over the years. And I think it comes from the fact that he was always open and humble to saying that, while I may have the number of years in experience behind me, I don't have an understanding of something, and nothing is beneath me to go and ask someone to help me around with it. And I think it is truly remarkable when I think about it. Of course, everyone's spoken about how grounded and rooted Mani was, and I cannot stress this beyond. I mean, it's unbelievable. And even simple things, I remember not only his personal life, which many have alluded to, on how he's been always, very, very grounded, no matter how far he's moved up in the organization. But when I even think about how he brought that to work, I remember this session when I think he was the BDM in West, and we were in some meeting and I was in the marketing, or I don't remember exactly what session it was. And, we had Wave and everything, data. There was a lot of new stuff that was around. And he had this line, which he said, which I still remember, and I don't know whether he's used it with some of his team. He said, in market, problems cannot be solved in Excel. And, he had this amazing way of connecting what really matters, how it's important to be with the customer, be in market, find solutions where the problem is, rather than just, intellectualizing about it. And for me, that groundedness that was so instructive in how one can behave and how one needs to behave in any business or in personal life. And of course, again, people have spoken about it over and over and over again. I think if there's one thing that Mani was all about, it was about people. There are so many times when he used to report into me in CMG, and he used to have people who used to work with him report to him. He'll come in and say and tell me that, some mistake has happened, but don't get angry. Those are the times when I used to get angry, but Mani said, don't get angry or upset about it. It's an honest mistake and I've already managed it. So, and when things, and somebody spoke about it a little earlier, when things went well, he was always the first person to acknowledge the team that did it. And it was never about him. It was always about how people reporting to him, his broader team, the broader organization has done such an amazing job to make such a difficult thing happen. So it's unbelievable how people centered he was as a person. I could go on and on and on, but I know that there are many people who also want to talk about how powerfully Mani touched them in many different ways. And in this really, really difficult time, my prayers are with his family and loved ones to give them the strength. He is an unbelievable person to have experienced, and I'm sure that people who have been with him far longer than I've been and experienced, been privileged to be with him far longer than and far deeper than I've been, would surely miss him. And I pray to God to give them the strength. At the same time, I pray he continues to live in all our memories and continues to give us all his positive energy. Because if there's one thing that I remember, I would want Mani to be remembered with, is the positive smile that he gave, and the positive energy that he gave to each and every one he met. And I'm sure that's the way he would want us to remember him as well. Thank you, Mani, and may you rest in peace.
Thank you, Ganesh. Very well said. Thank you. Now we have another person from the region who was with us in India very few months back only. Shivena, would you just say a few words, please?
Thanks, Manish. Like many of you, I'm still very shaken. I'm very sad to think that money is not with us, and I am emotional. So I'm sorry if I break. So much shared about money, and I'm sure, in the audience, there'd be so many of you who would have had special, moments with money. He was an incredible soul, and I won't talk about his work. I think everyone knows that and has seen that. I think there are very, very few people. I was thinking about money, and I was thinking there are very, very few people in this world who would be as fortunate as money, who could be loved by everyone simply because of who they are, not for their designation, not for their work, but because of the souls that they were. Money is one such person. He was loved by everyone. He touched so many lives so effortlessly. He added so much of joy broadly, irrespective of the time someone knew him. And a lot of you talked about 20 years, 25 years. I've known Mani since 2014. And we've had so many wonderful memories, different CD meets, conferences, and like the Narthan we shared, very, very special Orsal integration. Mani has always been a very kind and a humble person. A lot of you shared he was a wonderful teacher. Yes, he was an effortless teacher. He was wonderful. He taught so much in the unspoken. People talked about the spoken. I think he spoke through his kindness. He spoke through his love. He spoke through his care, through his positivity. While he always had a smile, there were times when I would see that little tear in the side of his eyes. Life is not always easy for him. But he chose to see life with gratitude. He chose to live it with grace. There were times when it was really, really difficult. I think consumer saw the toughest time, at least till whatever I've heard, possibly in the period 2015 to 18. And that time, Mani had his share of challenges. But he never gave up. He was always open to learning. And I think Orsal, I'm so glad that he was part of the Orsal journey, because it wouldn't have been the same without Mani in that journey. And when I think of what has been my most special time in JnJ so far, and I was talking to Tanvi a few days before, I told her it was Orsal. So he leaves a mark, not just by the work, but I think the emotion, the bond that we shared. In many of the conversations, I think we've had a lot of people conversations. He always chose to see the good in people. He never worried about if his was the only voice that was alone in the room. If he believed in it, he would say it. And he always stood for his team. He treated his team like family. And I think his care for his people went way beyond words, way beyond situations, way beyond, time. It was not only in the good times. We've had many, 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 those personal moments and those celebrations. And I remember Mani for those conversations. I think he leaves a piece of himself in all our hearts. Yes, time will pass. Yes, we'll move on. Yes, we know death is inevitable. We know all of that. But at the end of the day, I think it takes an incredible soul to leave a mark in the lives of so many people. And Mani, you'll stay alive for so many of us who've spoken or not spoken. I hear your humming sounds in various meetings. Suddenly in the middle of a serious meeting, you hear a hum, and that's Mani somewhere humming. So, miss you for all of that. You leave the world a better place for sure, Mani, and I think you leave it with a lot of learning. But you go to a better place. You go to the Almighty. I know you were very religious and very spiritual, I think. And your soul will definitely rest in peace, because you have the love of so many people. We grieve with your family, with your loved ones. and we hope to heal even as we keep your memories alive. God bless you, Mani. We miss you. Thanks, Manish.
Thank you so much, Vena. Now let's move to the last section of people before we close this day. Can I request our Vice President Marketing, Manoj Gadgil, to say a few words? Manoj, over to you, please.
I think a lot has been said about money, and all of it is going through my head as I think about him. 2-3 things stand out. One is his humility. Humility anchored in confidence, not in self-doubt. He always had a positive thing to say. He would say, however difficult the task may be, however impossible it may have thought or seemed, his standard phrase was, "We can do it, Manoj." It was never "I can do it." It was always "we can do it." And it showed up in everybody what they said, that he was always a people person. He was always team first person. He and I had a good relationship, a special relationship. It was not always based on being in touch. I think I haven't actually had the good good fortune of having stayed in touch continuously. But he always knew me. I always knew him. Even after I came back, he cracked so many records on Orcel. He never once wrote to me or picked up the phone and spoke to me right after that. But in the month of May this year, he cracked highest ever on soap, and he made sure that he spoke with me. He made sure he dropped me a message because he knew that I had faith in him to do the difficult in any case. But when it was the impossible task, he knew I would appreciate it even more. To bring back South Central on a baby business in such a big way, he knew was close to my heart. He made sure he connected with me. And I can only imagine how he inspired his team to get there. Back in the CNG days, we used to talk about, putting up Santo corners and there were some unimaginable kind of numbers that we wanted to get to. I honestly don't think if it was anybody other than money, if you would have ever got the faith and the trust of the organization to execute something at that scale. And the fact that he could connect with people across the board, the fact that he could take people along with him, the fact that he could understand people's difficulties and give them some direction to overcome it, allowed him to achieve impossible feats. His 100 crore is, I think, testament to that. His smiling face, his positivity, and his faith in people stay in my heart. We'll miss him. Thank you.
Thanks, Manoj. Thanks. I know it's very tough time for all of us. Thank you very much. Now, can I invite our head of HR for consumer, Sonal Jain, to say a few words?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. And I'll just say, I always wondered how can there be a one person who's a go-to person for everyone? And as I knew Mani for the last 18 months, when I went around the country and I asked, who's your go-to person? And invariably, most of the people would have said Mani. So that itself just talks about Mani, who he was. Personally, for me, he was my go-to person. I would always speak to him, call him for anything that I want to learn, I want to understand, and he'll always be there. And for me, he was a role model of persistence and resilience. And every time I heard about his story, because I haven't had the fortune of working with him for so long as many of you, but as I was always hearing his stories, I think beyond roles, beyond experiences, beyond responsibilities, it was all about what he believed. It was all about how he came across when the difficult times came, and how did he just went on to do what he thought was the right thing to do. And that to me is such a big inspiration for each one of us. And even today, when I go back to people and if somebody asks me, what's your advice on career? I actually end up taking Mani's name, saying just reach out to him. Because if you really need a live example, it can just be in Mani, and how he has taken his life, which is a holistic life, which is not a unidimensional life. And for him, there was no definition of team. And sometime in jokingly, I would ask him, how do you think about cross-functional team? And he would say, cross-functional team. The entire team is my team. Though I would always look forward to these small insights from Mani on what really he thought in life, what he believed in life. And for him, he had a dream for every single person in his team. He actually was so clear on what he wants to do. He would not say what he wants his team to do. He would always be clear on what he wants to do for the team. And very rarely you'll see leaders talking the way he would actually come across as committed to his team. And personally, over the last 3 weeks, and I shared it yesterday as well, I was speaking to Mani that this is a COVID time. It's a very tough time where so many of our people are going through health concerns. And, he became one of our health champions. He became one of our mental health diplomats. And we had a lot of conversation. And he said, I have driven safety. I was not aware, but he said, Sonal, I have driven safety culture in the past, and I know what it takes to create a culture. I will ensure that consumer health becomes the healthiest workplace for our people. He just wanted everybody to be healthy, not because there is an agenda, there is a program, or somebody is talking to him, but I think he genuinely wanted to make a difference. He genuinely wanted to inspire people of what health means to everybody. And such a surprise that just a evening before, he had a health sort of a campaign for his team. And like I said, it was always about, I need to make the shift, not just in my region, but entire consumer health. So there are just so many things that I can talk about Mani. But at the same time, I also want to say that it's a very difficult time for all of us. It's a very difficult time when our emotions will be outpouring, when we will feel, and it's perfectly fine to feel because we all love Mani. And I'm very sure he's somewhere there hearing each one of us as we speak through. We will definitely ensure that we do everything to support his family. It's a very tough time. I can't even imagine about how his parents, his wife, his kids must be feeling right now of the loss that they are going through in their life. But at the same time, we want to ensure that we respect the privacy of his family. So we will reach out to some of you so that we respect the privacy, and at the same time we ensure that we have the right channels of support and communication to support the family. And lastly, I would say just talk and just listen, because there is absolutely no other healer. We just need to talk. So whoever you feel comfortable, wherever those people are, just call them up and just talk. And if you still feel that you're not able to express emotions, because I'm sure many of your family members were attached to Mani, many of your family members had family connections with Mani. So if you feel those expressions are not possible, you're finding it difficult, please do reach out to our employee assistance program to just talk to someone. It's just important to grieve, and just important to remember Mani and share what's on your mind. And if it's on your mind, just let it be, because we all love Mani. I just pray for his family and himself to rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonal. So now we come to the end with our managing director, Vikas Srivastav. Vikas, can I request you to say a few words?
It's an incredibly moving afternoon, heartbreaking, devastating, unbelievable. So before I share my memories of Mani, please rise, join me, please rise, and let's offer a minute of silence in his memory to pray for his soul to be in peace. Thank you. There were such loving and moving tributes that came from the depths of your heart. And it is a celebration of Mani's life. The first thing I will begin by saying is when I look at this picture and the slide on the screen, if there was one part which was not there, it would be incomplete. Mani would never accept it without Johnson and Johnson written there. Johnson and Johnson was his life, and he gave his life to making Johnson and Johnson better. And I think there are so many aspects of Mani, but I want to start from his love for Johnson and Johnson. As I was speaking to the South team yesterday, it's very important to remember that JnJ has been in India for about 72 years. Our headquarters are in Mumbai, and that's where we are. But our spiritual center is in the South. South is where this company found its roots deeply. It established its values, it established its healthcare connections, and Mani comes from a long tradition of very, very pure credo-based leaders, which make Johnson and Johnson the company it is, the community it is. And there are 1,800 people in this community called Johnsonians Forever, who have retired for Johnson's or who would have left Johnson and Johnson, but Johnson and Johnson lives on in their heart better forever. And I can't think of anyone bigger, better, more deserving to be looked upon as a role model for what a Johnsonian is. Mani has so many things to admire about, and I think as we said, he began his career in the front line, but he is a role model for reinvention. He has learned, he's been a frontline person, he has been a training manager, he's been a frontline manager. Bangi spoke to you about he's been in marketing in Femcare, he's done Neutrogena, he's done regional sales management, he's done Orsal. There is so many challenges he's done, the sheer breadth of experiences and the ability to invent yourself again and again and again is the humility to learn, humility to know there is always something that you can do to make a mark and to learn from everyone. Everyone spoke about he was equally comfortable in the marketplace with a retailer he may never have met before, RDS salesman that he loved and knew, or with his leaders, with the managing director, with company group chairmen, with worldwide chairmen. He was effortlessly at ease because he was a curious, positive, happy soul that always wanted to make a difference to your life in his own unique way. I have had the good fortune of working closely with him for about 12 out of these years. 5 years as a sales director, 7 years now as in this position as a managing director. His energy I could never match. His positive spirit I could never match. His humor we could never match. And his learning of the marketplace is what made us all better. And every single visit, and including the earlier one this year, you learn something new, and Mani instills hope and belief in you. When I did not have much hope and belief, things were tough and down. When I used to get angry as well, when I used to despair, Mani was one of the most reassuring and calming voices saying, yes, you are right, but together we will build it. And we have. And in what way have we built it? Many of the people used to think about Mani that he has had, he deserved it, but he's had a remarkable string of good fortune. People did not see his struggles. People did not see the downtime in his career that came, which was not because of his making, but because of the external environment. And the true character of Mani shone through at that point in time. He embraced the setbacks. He learned better. And as Ravi Malkat said, we've seen him grow into an incredibly inspiring leader in 5 years, in the last 5 years. He was already a leader who would travel, as he said, from Gumadipundi to Kanyakumari and from Coimbatore to Nagapatnam and sell himself and do everything himself. And he was still a very good people leader, but I think he's acquired a completely different level of inspiring hope and belief, trust and faith in people, and being there for you, not doing your job, but helping you see the goodness and potential that lies within you that makes you the best person that you can be. And that impact is not only in the sales team of the South or the professional team of the South. That impact is in every leader. That impact is in me. So many things I have learned, so much faith and belief is done Anytime you turn to Mani, say, Mani, do you think this makes sense? He will say, you will disagree with me, you will shoot me, but I'll tell you it doesn't make sense. But if you want to do it, I will do it and support you. Many a times we went with him. Many a times we said, no, Mani, we disagree. Soap consumer promotion is a great example of that. But we always laughed about it. And he said, if I believe in it, I'll keep coming to you. I will never let go. And I think if you look back at his career as an example, as an inspiration, it is all about the possibilities, the curiosity, the learning. But career success, humility is not what you will remember Mani for when 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, memories fade, numbers are forgotten. What we'll remember, as Bangi said, the famous Maya Angelou quote, people don't remember what you say. People don't even remember what you do. People remember how you made them feel. And even beyond that, people not just remember you, I would say, people worship you when you make them believe in yourselves beyond what they ever think was possible. And Mani was a person like that who would make you believe in yourself. The number of leaders that Mani has grown, the number of customers that swear by Mani's leadership, the number of people outside of the company who will still remember Mani for that spark of joy, for that spark of belief and inspiration is absolutely very, very high. It is his impact on lives and his message for us as what truly leadership means. And he wore the mantle very easily. On one side of the mantle of what we have always believed as Johnson and Johnson, and Mani was the embodiment of that. On one side is caring, and Mani was always one of the best people to care for you if you were ever down. But he didn't stop at caring. He believed equally in excellence, in chasing impossible dreams, in being the first, not just to benchmark with others, in finding ways when no one found a way. And he believed and he understood intuitively, and he's a role model and an inspiring leader for us, that caring inspires that excellence, and that excellence inspires caring. I think you heard, and I think if you look at the leadership impact, it was like the kind of people he has grown and mentored is extremely diverse, is extremely diverse. Very few leaders can work with any kind of person in your team or any kind of colleague in any kind of function. But Mani could do that because he fundamentally was about you and not about him. He brought his self last. His self didn't matter. What mattered was you. And Mani sitting there up there today will say, oh, you guys are saying all these good things about me. Thank you, but you know what? I am nothing without you. You have made me to who I am. He will refuse to take 1% of the credit that you want to give him. And it is not humility or modesty. It is because he genuinely believes that what he was the love and care and the learning that he got from other people. But that is a very, very rare thing when you put yourself last and you acknowledge that all the good is because of the other people and all the not so good is because of you. And that is an impossible ideal to live by, but it's an ideal that inspires. It's an ideal that makes you want to be a better human being, wants to be a better person, and makes you want to touch lives in a way that we can touch in our own simple ways. The best tribute for Mani is not so much to achieve greater numbers. He will be happy, he will be delighted. The best tribute for Mani is not just to be more spiritual and more God fearing. Let me touch on that. A person who was so religious and so spiritual, and yet he didn't do the leave the job to God to achieve his dreams. He turned to God for making him stronger, to believe, to give him the belief. And the work had to be done by the man himself and the team himself. It was not that he went to pray so that the achievement would happen. He went to pray so that the God could show him the way. And rest of all the hard work and the burden was his. And he always was like that. For a person who was so spiritual, so religious, such a big believer, he always gave credit to his team and to Lord Balaji. And I think as somebody, Prabhakar, and I was speaking, we were both broken. And Prabhakar was asking me in that broken moment, the question we all have, why did Lord Balaji take him away? And I said, because he's a son of God and God wanted him back. And I think in many ways, the best way to give him tribute is not just to achieve numbers and just build leaders and stand by the credo values of Johnson and Johnson. That's difficult enough, that's powerful enough, and that is something that's the minimum Mani would expect from all of us. But the best way to give him tribute is to live by the truth of those values and to know that in the pursuit of the goals that we have, don't ever forget who we are. Who we are is bigger than the goals we chase. How we work with other people, and how we bring out the best of them is bigger than any goal, any company, any organization. And if those values we can retain and look at money as a living example, yes, he lives on. He will forever live on. He may have left the earth in his human form, but he will forever live on in our hearts, in our memories as an inspiration. So money is a living legend. He was already a living legend. One of the things I'm thinking about is people say good things about departed souls. But what we are telling about money, and each one of you, I can see many of you in the video and hundreds of you not in the video, each one of you hand on heart will know that this is not a retirement. Forget about it, a departed soul tribute. Forget about a retirement speech. This is exactly what we would have told money on his 101 crore celebration. We would have told money the same things in his 101 crore celebration. We would not have had to wait for him, for his retirement to say these things, because he was a living legend. He didn't have to become a legend. He didn't have to leave this earth to become a legend. So just hold on to those values, believe in them. The greatest tribute to money is to be true to yourself. And if you can be true to yourself and you can embrace this company's values, which are the human values, if you can be absolutely the best human being you can be, and then keep the faith in other people, keep the trust and hope, make sure that you do the very best you can, smile through the adversities, be resilient, but never give up, then you will make money incredibly, incredibly proud. He lives on. He will always live on. It's an irreparable loss. Words are just failing us. I will want to close with just the thing about, I've known him for a long time, but I have not worked with him as close as so many of you have done. And yet his loss feels like I've lost a family member. I did not know his family. He has met mine, but I would not say that we were close as a family, because I've not had the good fortune of doing that. But his loss feels very, very palpably in me like I've lost a family member, and it's the same, and it's so much more for so many of you. So grieve, mourn, give the family the privacy and the space, allow them to mourn in peace, find a way to reach out to each other and grow and heal. And money, the last thing money would want us for is to us to crumble. We will not crumble, but equally make sure that as we do that, this is the time to think of other people, not of ourselves. Be there, go out there, be somebody's lamp, be somebody's lifeboat, be somebody's ladder. Be there for people, hold them together through this, and together as a company, as a community, we will get through this. We will be there for Mani's family in the ways we can be. We'll be there for each other. God bless his soul. He will always live on and be a shining light and an inspiration till our last breath. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for keeping him in your prayers, and be the very best that you can be. And thank you to all of you who have organized this beautiful tribute. And to the South Central team, we stand with you. This is not the time to think about the future. This is a time to make sure that we are holding each other gradually over a period of time. We will figure out the way ahead. There will always be a way ahead. We'll figure it out. This is not the time to think about it. This is the time for you, a South Central team, to know that you are not alone. We stand with you as one Johnson & Johnson company. We'll talk about some of the things next week, but please stay safe. It's still a pandemic out there. It's still difficult out there. Don't let your emotions overrun you. He would not want you to be that irresponsible. Please be responsible. Please take care of your own families. Please take care of yourself. Please be there for all the teams and everyone who counts on you. So with that, I will bring a close to this afternoon. May Mani's soul rest in peace, and many continue to inspire us until the last moment we are on this earth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vikas.